Do you have a little autism?
Is you autistic?
Are you like me and you need to figure out how to put some high pressure PTFE hoses and lines together for your car? Well, you clicked on the video, so chances are probably.
Woman power!
Hey, what's up you guys? It's Rina. Welcome back into another one of my tutor swap videos. Today, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to put these things together. So for those of you that don't know exactly what PTFE is or why I'm using it here, here's a little 30-second breakdown. So the PTFE acronym actually stands for the synthetic polymer that it's made from, called polytetrafluoroethylene. Good luck trying to say that one 10 times fast. I literally had to look up how to pronounce it.
Safety glasses off, motherfuckers.
We want to use it for our fuel lines in our high horsepower cars because it's extremely tough and durable to corrosive fluids like ethanol, which I'm going to be running a lot in my car, as well as high heat and ridiculously high pressures through them because you don't want any leaks. That could be dangerous. I'm not going to sit here and rant and make a long ass intro for you guys because literally nobody watches them, so we're just going to get into it. Okay, jumping into the things that you're going to need for this, obviously, a vise. Yes, it's not bolted down and it's perfectly fine. Next, you're going to need, obviously, your PTFE fittings. Now, I'm mentioning this because it might be an obvious, right? Yeah, okay, well, I'm digging into this because you want to make sure that you specifically have PTFE fittings and not AN fittings. PTFE line can only be used with PTFE fittings. They are not interchangeable whatsoever with AN, so AN fittings do not go on PTFE lines. AN fittings go with AN lines. PTFE fittings go with PTFE lines. There is no crossy, fucky, interchangey bullshit going on. No. So obviously you'll need fittings. I have a whole bunch in this box that I have right next to me. All of my fittings and all my lines are PTFE from Radium. All the PTFE fittings that I have are all going to be sitting here in this box, but all of them are actually matching with my line. I don't think you necessarily have to, but I think it's kind of like a good rule of thumb to do. So all of my line, which obviously you will need, is PTFE line from Radium as well. So all of my fittings and my lines match just so that I can have that, you know, in my brain. It feels good. So in my hands, I'm holding 2 rolls of 8 PTFE, and then I have 1 roll of 6 PTFE hose. So the 6 is for the return line, and then the 8 is for the to the rail line in my car. If you guys care. You probably don't, but I'm gonna tell you anyways. But you will also need some nice little aluminum jaws, and mine are magnetic, so they make it really easy to just snap it right in. And it just goes right into the vise instead of actually having to like unscrew them and screw in regular aluminum ones. Yeah, you don't want to gouge your fittings and everything like that. You don't want to scratch it. You don't want to make it look like shit. So you want to get some of these, and the little magnetic ones are pretty sick and they're really fast. So just snap them in, tighten your shit down, call it a day. You'll also need, in my opinion, this is a necessity. Now, this might look like a bit much to you, and you could be like,
oh yeah, I'll just cut that shit with a die grinder and the cutoff wheel.
yeah, no, fuck you, no. You don't want to make your shit all nasty, okay? You don't want to get a whole bunch of dust and shit in there. You don't want to fray the, like, wire braiding on the outside of the line, okay? Just get some big fucking cutters like this, because you can get a nice, clean cut on that shit, and you also don't have to have a lot of strength to do it.
Bruh.
So get you some little cutties like this and save yourself a whole lot of headache. And this part is optional, but I also have these little mounts for them that are insulated with rubber so that I can get them up onto the underside of the car and get them secured. Having rubber isn't obviously necessary, but it just makes me feel better knowing that it's not going to be rubbing or anything fucky with it. Is it necessary? Probably not, but is it what I'm using? Hell yeah. And then also, obviously you're gonna need some hardware. So I just got some little self-tapping stainless hardware. He mounts up into the car. And I took it a step further because I'm baller like that. And I got these little rubber washers. It will essentially sit right there. Also, you're gonna need some silicone spray. And why do you need this? Well, let me show you. So they say essentially the hardest part of doing these PTFE pressure fittings and everything like that is getting the little pearl or the ferrule, whatever you want to call it, into the line. And once you do that, you can screw the cap on to these threads right here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna spray the silicone in there and make sure that you don't fuck your shit up and cross-thread your shit because it's aluminum. You don't wanna do that, so hence, silicone spray. Also, you're gonna need some nice little aluminum wrenches here to hold and torque down your fittings. So I've been told that you need high quality ones of these because if you don't, then because, again, they are aluminum, if it's really poor quality, then it will like flex and bend and stuff. It could totally fuck up your fitting. So you wanna get good ones of these. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my car up really quick. Okay, so pretty much as you're watching the time lapse, I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys if anyone was interested of how my routing is. So I'm someone that needs to like draw everything out, hence why I have this in the first place. When I was ordering all the parts and everything, I drew this to make it easier for myself. I would recommend you do the same thing if you're in a case like me where you're just rebuilding an entire fuel system. So essentially here's the front of the motor, and this is my exact setup for how I'm gonna be running things. So we go. Okay, so what I'm doing here for my measurements is I'm pretty much just going around the car, routing the hose where I want it to be, easy, and then instead of actually mounting it up and everything, I'm just temporarily securing it into place with some duct tape, and then I'm going ahead with some blue painter's tape, marking off where I need to cut the hoses, and I am leaving a couple inches of slack because, let's be honest, I'm a little autistic, and I'm probably gonna fuck it up, so I'm giving myself a little bit of extra wiggle room, because we all know it's easier to cut off material than to try to replace it. Baller. Now that you have step 1 done, we're gonna do step 2, which is cutting the line so it can press the fittings on. Time to use the big old choppers. And I did triple check it, so we should be good. I also left a little extra just so that I can chop off more if I need to. And we want one nice little chop. Just like that, nice and clean. Chop number 2. Nice even clean break off. And there we are, nice fresh clean cut. Like you cut, G.
In Minecraft, I like it cut, G.
I'm actually going to cap off the other end of this hose. I don't want anything getting in it before I start putting stuff on it. So the little rubber cap. So now that we have our hose cut, where the hose?
I'm looking for the hose. Yeah.
Now that we have the hose cut, or the hose, as some may call it in my generation. Now that we have the hose cut, I'm going to go ahead and get the fitting that this goes to. Okay, so this straight fitting right here is the one that I'm going to be using for this particular portion of the hose that I dropped on the floor after I just talked about how clean I was trying to be with the hoses.
Is you autistic?
It was. First things first with this is you want to go ahead and take this little back cap and you just want to put it onto the hose with the flared side facing the hose. Go ahead and try to get this around all of this steel wire braiding. It's not the easiest. Ow. Yeah, I probably should put gloves on. Honestly, I should have included gloves as like something that you should use in the beginning of the video. Guys, this stainless braiding is very pokey, very stabby, and I would recommend some gloves. Round 2. See, now I can squish it down. Oh!
Do you ever laugh on people with a retardation?
Shit. Alright, well. Lovely. I don't know why it like flared out so much. You know, this is no easy task for people with little bitch fingers. I am people with little bitch fingers. Can't be worse than the wrist pins that I've done, right? You know what? I'm cutting it again. I'm cutting it again. This is why I left extra. To be fair, this is my first time doing this. Just gonna do a little bit. Lovely. This is the braided shit that I was trying to deal with before. And this is what it looks like now. Much better, much more held together. Damn, I can feel my fingers bleeding in these gloves. Now, we should be able to put the cap on much easier. I'm learning that once the cloth starts unraveling, you kind of get fucked.
Get shit on your ass!
Whew. That time, we got it on. Now that we've got the back cap on, literally like one of the easiest steps, we're gonna move on to the next step, which is the step that sucks the most. Okay, so the hard part, they say, is getting this little pearl or the ferrule or whatever the hell you want to call it into the braiding portion right here. And honestly, I mean, I've never done this before, but I'm not seeing the difficulty in that quite yet. But honestly, right now, at least with this line, like, it's already flaring out right here with the braided line. So, like, I already got space in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and press this on. Okay, now they say that you want this pushed down as far as you can get it in there. I might honestly, like, grab a dead blow and, like, I use a dead blow for everything. If you're new here, hi, my name's Rina, and I use a dead blow for literally fucking everything. It's gonna lead us to the promised land right here. Here we go. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah!
This isn't that bad. This isn't that bad at all. If I'm doing it the right way, at least. I'm using this little like Torx bit and pressing down on the ferrule with it because it's like the exact size. And then I'm pulling up on this back cap at the same time to get the braided line to like compress into it. So it's been working and it's keeping it flush and it's also keeping it where it needs to be. Oh, there we go. Okay. So as you can see, I've got like little braided portions right here and I'm just gonna bend back. I don't want them in the way of our seal. Oh my god! How many fucking times am I gonna do that? I need to have the threads actually over so that I can thread into this. I gotta push this cap up just a little more. Tyler! How are you supposed to pull this? It doesn't go over. I can't get it to go over anymore. The muscle, ladies and gentlemen. Now, for the lovely portion that we have all been waiting for, the end. This is where I bust out the silicone,
Butter bust down.
and lube lube up the threads like that. I can't get the end cap piece to go in. The little fucking, like, fitting dick to go in. This is so hard to press on, like, genuinely. I'm gonna get a little bit of silicone. I'm gonna put it on the outside of it and hopefully it'll, like, slip in or something. They literally make this shit look so easy on YouTube, and it's not. I'm telling you right now, it is not easy. At least for me, it's not easy. Dude, I don't want to fuck up the inside of the house. Ah! This sucks. Well, make sure it's in there all the way. So I'm gonna use more silicone. The next portion of this, I'm just gonna go ahead and start cranking down. Pretty much that's how you do it. Perfect. See? Boom. It's on. I'll deal with it later. It's late at night and I'm tired of this bullshit.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. That's too damn much!
So, there you go. That's how you put a PTFE hose and fitting together. Pretty much, yeah, you just from here, if the back cap portion that has the threads doesn't screw on, that would be because the issue that I'm having where you just need to push this cap onto the line better and further. And that is all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial.
People with a retardation.
Yeah, pretty much just crank it down. You do it as tight as you can. That's it. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.